I'm Brandon Boner for OnFocus, and we are back at Spencer School District to meet with Mike Endres, superintendent here, to talk about the recent developments that we learned about last week regarding the Spencer School District considering a referendum in November and the two questions that are going to be potentially on the ballot. Mike, thanks for joining me today. We are inside the face room here in the School District of Spencer. Tell me why this room is being considered being remodeled as part of that referendum or being considered on a ballot in November.
Well, we're in the back stretch of a long time process that we've gone through our building and updated. It's an older building, so in each of our classrooms we have asbestos tile, and this is kind of the last horizon. We've hit every building, we've gutted every room, we've updated the tile in every room, and as far as we know, well known, this is the last room that has asbestos tile. The issue with that is the costing is a little different in this room as it would be compared to other ones. We need to gut this room, and as you can see around the room here, all the cabinetry and everything would have to be pulled out, and there's some extreme cost because we all know when we're renovating our house, you tear cabinets out, you're probably going to damage them, you'll have to replace them. So we also, on top of that, knowing that we have to gut the room, hey, well, let's look for opportunities here. Okay, we have a great relationship with our local NTC campus. They're going into the culinary arts. They're trying to promote adult learning in the area, and we want them to have a say and some input onto what we do with this room and the future of it. And we look forward to having opportunities for them to hold classes here, which would be less windshield time for our parents and community as well.
So for those that are watching that maybe are not familiar with what a FACE program is, a FACE program is really adult learning, using and learning activities that you basically do in life once you're on your own.
Absolutely, if for people my age, home ec is all you have to say, and oh, now I know cooking and that sort of thing. So cooking, we do early childhood type education, child development pieces, sewing, if those type of activities that would be done out of this room then. Yep.
We are in what is the present-day weight room here at the Spencer School. Now, we learned over 20 years ago this was a smaller room that was located behind what is currently the present-day wrestling room. Actually, they're using it for storage right now. So this was a pretty big move 20 years ago to move this to the stage of the gymnasium. But Mike, let's talk a little bit about this. This is something that you've been telling me for months now is a need of the school district. You know, we're looking at the amount of equipment that's up here. I'm looking at all the free weights laying on the floor, and just there's not a lot of space. Why is this such an important need for the district?
Well, as you can see, space is a huge concern, but more importantly, the amount of weight. Over 20 years ago, when the decision was made prior to mine even being here, there was a lot less free weight. There was a machine. There was limited amount of things that they would use to lift and so forth. That has progressed obviously through the years and so forth. And this has been not only the last few months. This has been a yearly thing. Every year we go underneath the wooden structure here, check boards and so forth to make sure that it's sound and so forth, and making sure that can. But an issue and a safety piece here is we want to make sure to do our best to get this weight and have an alternative. And we've explored many alternatives to try to get the weight off of here, but nothing has really come to fruition. It really came to light. We had a young man who could deadlift over 500 pounds. My daughter happened to be on the stage that day, and she goes, "Dad, the whole thing shook when he dropped that weight." So we're getting bigger, faster, stronger kids. As a result, we're having a huge success in all of our sports areas. But with that, I think we have a responsibility to do our best to address issues as we know they come along then.
So in addition to this also being the weight room, I know once a year they take all the weights off of this, and this turns into the graduation ceremony headquarters. What kind of challenge is that for the district?
Well, it's once again a huge challenge. It's our biggest event of the year, graduation. That's what we're all about. And what it involves is pushing everything out, heavy machinery off to the backside. So it is a huge endeavor that we have to undertake as well. And you always worry about when you're lifting, and there are different shapes and sizes of machinery and so forth. You always worry about people getting injured in that process as well.
Now, we look at the school and we think about the number of students that might be up here at any given time. What is the class size here at Spencer, especially during like a PE ed class?
PE, we're right around 20, 25 kids per class, and one of our most popular classes is fitness and weight training. So this area does get used a lot for our classroom, but to mention that too, throughout the summer, through some offerings we offer through summer school, we'll have upwards of 30 to 40 kids in this area as well, because that too is a popular. Getting ready for the upcoming seasons, they take advantage of that class as well.
So, Mike, in the community survey, you had just over $200,000 that you would need to relocate this weight room. What is the plans, or what is the thoughts behind that?
Well, first of all, just because we've explored all of our areas, is where throughout the building, where could we relocate this? We don't have a sound reason. The people, we have talked about dropping this whole thing down to the floor. We have a huge amount of storage, tables and everything, chairs. Like, you have to hide your spare chairs at home. So that's kind of the same thing we do here. So that wasn't an option. The proposed process would involve another room, adding space on to accommodate that, and that's the big piece, because we've evaluated our building. We just don't have a spot for that to go without building new for that.
So when you reference building new, you're adding square footage to the school district here. How has enrollment been the last dozen years? Has it been steady?
Like many small schools, we're very up and down. It's back in the day when I got a new kid in my class, it was like the second coming. You never saw. Kids and families are a lot more transient now. Open enrollment possibilities is always a factor. So we've gone from, when I started here 20 years ago, we averaged about 60 kids per grade level. Now we're at around 50. So throughout the years we've seen a decline. Families aren't as big as they used to be either. We're always hovering around that 50 to 55 per grade level.
Recent years, Spencer School District has co-opted with Columbus High School in Marshfield, and we've seen a tremendous amount of excitement in the school district alone for the amount of praise and advancements that those athletic teams are making. Are we seeing more kids get involved in extracurricular activities such as sports that would be utilized in this facility?
Absolutely, and I think that goes too, just like our enrollment, that goes up and down based off of interest and need. But I can definitely say, with the success that we've had in all of our sports, that breeds success, and people want to be involved with that. So I think that has been a huge factor in our participation levels and so forth. So the younger kids watching, the younger kids now, and they're probably our middle school type age kids, saw what was the excitement when the football team went to state. So they want to be involved with it and participate in that piece too. So they're seeing how much fun it is and how exciting that is. So they're getting involved too then.
Well, we talked last week and we aired a piece, and one question that really came out from a lot of people is the fitness center, the community fitness center. That was another addition to the weight room, as well as the gymnasium was some things that you guys explored in that community survey. But a lot of people came to social media and asked, why not the community fitness center? And I would have to ask the question, we're looking at a weight room. How much more does it really take to get a community fitness center? Is it logistics? Is it operations? Is it square footage? Is it duplication of equipment?
Well, I think all of that. The big thing, the big piece with the board, thought process for the board, was to have a separated area. We want a dedicated area for adults to utilize throughout the year. We all know school safety and everything like that. We want to do our best to keep those two areas separated, and I think that was a huge factor. So by putting a convenient, and when I mean convenient, close to our locker rooms and our gymnasium and so forth, we do have a space that we would look at putting of the student weight room, and then the community fitness center. Because you want to have public access and so forth and availability, that was part of that process too in figuring out where to go with it, parking for people that want to use it. So there's a lot of devil in the details that was involved there as well. But throughout the survey, I think the other piece is pretty glaring that people were willing to support it. And I don't want to say there was no support, because all the questions that we proposed, there was support. The biggest support came for academic areas: band, choral, face, the student weight room, knowing that we do classes and so forth, and then that school safety piece. Those were the big ones. There was even there was also support for our gymnasium and our community fitness center. But with that, we just the board wanted to listen to what the results were showed, and decided to a little more focus on those academic areas and pose it that way then.
Now, if you've been paying attention to this video, you'll probably notice a dramatic change in the video footage that you're watching now. That is because minutes ago, I literally was coming on the stage walking and fell off the stage and busted the camera that we're using in this interview. That almost brings it more into light why it's important that we address some of the needs here at Spencer School. But I will tell you, we learned something this morning from Superintendent Mike Endres. They originally had a decision to put on the ballot in November 2 questions that we mentioned previously. But the board has decided to delay that until April because of new opportunities that are in the works, as well as just taking the time to step back and plan for what is the best needs for our school here in Spencer. I'm Brandon Boner for OnFocus, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you, my staff, for bringing this show to you today. And for everyone, if you love what we're doing, hit the like button above, subscribe to our page, and I'll see you guys next time.